What's up, Martin?
Hey,
Oh, sorry, I was putting
hey,
out a tweet. Apparently, look, I'm getting some information about you. Apparently, you're pretty popular. I have to treat you with utmost respect. However, someone was saying something about pharmacy. I don't know what they're talking about, but I will
I
say,
I don't
I
know
will
what they're talking about either.
me neither. I have no idea. I will say if you did any wrongdoings in your past, this space alone actually wipes them clean.
Oh, great, thank you. That's
Absolutely.
exactly. I was looking for Jesus, and I'm so happy I found him in you.
No, it's not me. It's this space.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Either way,
Look, I'm telling you, whatever you've done, we've had people way worse. So, anyways, Martin, apparently you're the guy who has the information about why FTX collapsed. So, if you could explain that.
I just got off the phone with one of their attorneys, interestingly. But no, I think basically, we know they basically, were gambling with seemingly client money, which is a no-no. You can't do that. They did it anyway, and they blew up because of Luna and Celsius and all these things that sort of went left. When they blew up, instead of fessing up like Three Arrows did or Voyager or some of these other firms, they instead of fessing up, they said that they'd hide the ball, right? They said they'd basically take money from FTX, including client money, cover the hole that Almeida made, the hedge fund, and figure it out later. Well, later came and they couldn't figure it out. And I think that what happened probably is that someone tipped Binance off to this. And Binance basically said, oh, we have all this FTT. We don't need it anymore. Let's sell it. And that caused this catastrophe. So we're here. I think FTX will be filing for bankruptcy today, and in that bankruptcy report, you do have to. I don't have the pleasure of having had filed for bankruptcy, but I do have been involved in companies that have done it. And basically, you do have to list your assets and your liabilities, and you have to put a number on it. So we may be getting that number very soon, possibly as soon as tonight. But we'll see. Is it 10 billion? Is it 20 billion? We don't know what the assets are. That's probably a lot less, and we don't know what the liabilities are. The liabilities are probably in the 10, 20, or 30 billion range. We just don't know. I hope it's as little as possible, because the less it is, the less client assets that are going to be lost. Coinbase, by comparison, has $100 billion of client assets. That's a lot. If FTX even had half that, that'd be a staggering loss, because they're saying they're insolvent. They're saying they're liquid. And there was a really great chain analysis done by a Twitter person that made the rounds that shows that if you add up all of the wallets from from Almeida, and you add up all the wallets from FTX, you get about $1 billion, which is not a lot compared to the likely amount of deposits. Now, we don't know what the deposits are, and we also don't know if the FTX US entity is implicated. I believe it is. I believe it's insolvent. US customers are going to be bankrupt. FTX is bankrupt in every jurisdiction, in my opinion. We just don't know for sure. But assuming that's the case, I do think there's a big hole here that really can't be explained easily. And I'm hoping there's a more innocent explanation, like the U.S. entity is safe and that they didn't leverage the U.S. entity. I don't think that's true. I hope there's another explanation, like they didn't really have that many deposits, so people are going to lose like 5 billion, but it's not as big of a deal as people losing 20 or 30 billion. So we just don't know what's going to happen. But I do think the hole is bigger than anybody thinks. I don't think they're being bailed out by anybody. It sounds like they're desperately trying, but I really think it's over. And we'll know again. We'll know more probably tonight or tomorrow as they file for bankruptcy, which I think is at this point kind of they should do it voluntarily. But I think at some point, it's not going to be in their control. I also do think, unfortunately, that Sam will be arrested. I don't wish that on anybody, having had gone through it myself. It's not a pleasant experience. I don't think people should go to jail for nonviolent crimes, but I don't make the rules. The government does, and whenever you lose billions of dollars of people's money, that is a good reason to arrest you. They'll find a law that applies. That is not the problem. The law is very malleable. It's very easy to pick a law. You can probably charge them with 10 different things, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're working up some kind of indictment or some kind of charge against him as we speak, which, again, I don't wish on anybody. I don't want to see him go to jail, but this is something that's very serious. It sounds like a lot of people are going to lose a lot of money, and usually politicians and other people want to seek sort of revenge and blood and vengeance and blood out for that because it gets them votes and things like that. And again, I've been at the brunt of that before, and I don't have any benefit from this. I don't feel, I like the guy or who he was before all this came to light. So I don't want to see him fail. It's a sad scenario. A lot of people are going to lose quite a bit of money. I don't think Binance accounts are even worth 25 cents on the dollar at this point, which is, if I hope I'm wrong, but if I'm right, that's really bad, obviously. So we'll see what happens. Again, I might sound like a doomsayer. Maybe it's better than I think, but that's sort of my guesstimates and sort of the diligence that I've tried to do.
Okay. Thank you. I don't know what that means for me. It sounds like it doesn't mean anything to me. It sounds to me, I didn't, I had some money on FTX. It wasn't anything it wasn't life changing money. What is more interesting than the FTX is you. I'm getting a lot of people, you pissed off a lot of people. I don't know why. They said, what the fuck is that MFer doing up here? Um, and look, we'll have conversation. I want to know more about you at the moment because what the fuck? I'm getting fucked up shit, man. Martin, I'm getting some fucked up shit. You know
Well,
what?
I'm a pretty normal guy. I think I went through a media assassination that was unprecedented. I am from New York City. I'm a nerd. I'm a skinny computer nerd. I was a programmer as a kid. I got into hedge funds. I worked at Jim Cramer's hedge fund when I was 16. I was like a precocious young whatever. And, I got into pharmaceuticals and I traded pharmaceutical stocks. I care deeply about patients. I've made brand new medicines. I've invented medicines from scratch. I've researched a lot of medicines. I've gotten drugs FDA approved. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people think I'm the pharma bro, which is what the media called me. But I'm a pretty hardcore sort of biochemistry person, and I've led teams of researchers and chemists to success. And in pharma, I've bought some drugs that I've raised the prices of. I think that I've done that ethically, intelligently, carefully, deliberately, not, in this slapshot, half-assed manner or this crazy sort of, maniacal manner. I did it really intelligently with purpose. And I think that there's this interest that we see all the time now from the media that they want to make a story that sounds exciting. And a person holding back a life-saving medicine because he wants more money sounds exciting. That sounds like a crazy story, but the reality is far, far different from that. This drug was not going to be available unless its price went up. There are a lot of drugs that just don't get made unless people pay for them. And a lot of people expect that these products, because they're medicine, they should be free or that they should be at a price that makes sense for them. But the reality is the economics of pharmaceuticals are very complex. There are many drugs like the drug that I was involved in that only have a handful of patients that need them. I had a drug once that had.
Did he rug?
Yep, yep.
Okay. You're rugging, bro. While he's rugging, let's go over to NFDB. NFDB, who is Martin?
Not a clue. But he had a pretty impressive CV that I was like, oh, all right. And also, shut up with the whole drug thing. Like, people should be able to have it for free. I mean, you're making trillions, so yeah, we can kind of look after the people and let them live. So disagree on that one, full stop. I think, but what?
He's back. Wait, hang
He's
on.
back.
NFDB. I've got a ton of questions for this guy at the moment.
Go.
Well, and are you back,
Yeah, I
Martin?
was just going to say that, like, the last sentence is just when you need a BuzzFeed one-click, kind of line, you can lie and you can make these things sort of more salacious than they are. But this has happened hundreds of times in pharma. There are oftentimes drugs that just don't make sense to sell at a certain price, and it's really not some malicious intent on mine. I love patients. I do my best to help people who are sick with rare diseases. I have hundreds of friends that I still stay close with that are in families that have these rare diseases. So ultimately, like, the people in pharma that understand this, but it's easy to shake your fist and get mad at reading some kind of article about, a guy who hiked drug prices rapaciously and without, any kind of thought behind it and is just some bro that is trying to make money. That's not who I am.
Okay. Let's go over to Tanya real quick.
I just wanted to say, like, because I always get a lot of hate anytime anyone sees me interact with Martin as well. And I mean, it's not just me, like a whole group of people watch the media just just lie on this guy in a way I've never seen before. And it is ridiculous how many people believe these lies. I was gonna say something else, I forgot. But thanks for coming here, Martin.
Yeah.
Giving us the real alpha. I saw you were in a big space. It was nice of you to come in here.
No, it's my pleasure. I mean, I'm really happy that, the lessons that I used to do these YouTube lessons in finance, and I've heard from dozens of people, including a lot of billionaires, people who are early in crypto, including some of the people at the Ethereum Foundation and others, that they said they watched my videos and learned from them, and it was beneficial. And I started streaming just to sort of show people, like, they had me as the pharma bro, like a frat brother, basically, who was just like this dude bro that, didn't know medicine, but like, I love medicine and I care deeply about healthcare, but it is still a business, unfortunately or fortunately, depending how you look at it. I think it's a good thing, but it is a business in this country. And if you don't believe me, go ask a doctor to do a surgery for less than $10,000, and you're not going to get it. It's a very sort of different world we live in America. Now, if you don't like that, it is what it is. Unfortunately, it's the way it is, and it's not changing anytime soon. And we have to live with the system. In my opinion, it's a benefit. I think that capitalism can create treatments and cures that wouldn't exist otherwise. But again, it's a long debate. But people have used me as the fulcrum or stand-in for that debate to say, okay, well, this is the problem. Guys like him, and I'm not the problem at all. But it's ultimately easy to find a fall guy for a whole industry that people just generally don't like, no matter what pharma seems to do right, including, in my opinion, the COVID vaccine. I know some people maybe don't like the COVID vaccine. I think it's a good thing, but pharma does things right a lot and still doesn't get any benefit for it. You when you hear pharma, you think about the opioid addiction epidemic. You think about all the bad things, but you don't think about a lot of the cancers that have been cured or treated much better with new medicines, or the Hep C cure, or things like that have really things that I think drug industry is proud of. So it all boils down to the pharma stuff, and I think people felt like I was really disrespectful and kind of I don't know, glum or whatever about it. And to me, like, I hate politicians. When I went to DC, I made that clear that I don't trust these people any more than anybody else. And I would fight with people like Hillary Clinton, who made a whole World Series ad about me, and Bernie Sanders and others, AOC, where, ultimately I don't trust those people. I don't think that they should be dunking on me at my expense. And that, if anything, I tried to turn the tables on them. And that was really surprising to them, that somebody would dare throw rocks at the crowd, at the crown. And I don't view them as a crown. I view them as what's wrong with this country, most politicians, right or left, and that includes Trump. And I think that, they can kiss my ass. And that wasn't the thing they wanted to hear. They wanted to hear me cower in fear, and they put me in jail. And as a result, I sat down, did my 4 years, and I still come back with the same attitude. I don't give a fuck, and fuck them. And that's sort of one of the things that I think people admire about me, to the extent there are people that admire me. I do think there are, as Zantani mentioned. But ultimately, I'm going to do me regardless of what anybody says or thinks. And I'm a capitalist. I'm not afraid of making a profit. I think crypto has a lot of that ethos. But anyway, I hope that helps you get a picture of who I am.
A little bit. The one specific thing I'm seeing a lot of is this is it Daraprim?
Yes,
Daraprim
is a medicine that I raised the price of.
It went from $13.50 to $750 per pill.
Correct.
Okay. Was it what did
that sounds like a crazy number, but it really isn't. Daraprim, you got to take about 50 pills. So if you do the math, it's about $40,000. There are $1 million drugs in America. $1 million every year for the rest of your life. So do you know the names of those drugs? Any of the people that say that they don't like Martin Shkreli? Well, tell me about those drugs. How do people pay for that?
Wait, hang on now. That's a fallacy. That's an argument. You cannot justify your argument with other fucked up shit. If you're saying
that's not fucked up shit, is my point, is that it's very regular and normal for drugs to cost $1 million a year.
Okay.
Or $500,000 a year, and the system pays for them. People don't cry about shortages in those medicines because there are none. But if you want to yell about a $50,000 drug, how do you think that people pay for a $500,000 drug or $1 million drug? Those drugs are paid for, and they're viewed as miracle drugs, and they're excellent. So why do I have to sell my drug at pennies on the dollar on a comparative basis? In fact, I would say that our drug is extremely cheap, even at that $750 price, because it's a one-time cure. You don't have to take Daraprim for more than 30 days. Those other drugs you have to take for the rest of your life. In fact, there's a drug called Soliris. It's $650,000 a year. You have to take it for the rest of your life. If you take it for 20 years, you have to pay this company $12 million. Nobody has that kind of money. And of course, insurance pays for it. So the point is, like, people don't understand the pharmaceutical industry. If there's somebody here from Pfizer or Merck and they want to say, I don't like you, Martin, and here's why, then I'd be curious. But people who don't know anything about pharma want to throw rocks and say that, this is a problem or something like that. Well, it'd be like me coming up here and saying, well, I don't like crypto because, these crypto coins are, they're not backed by anything. And I think that these protocols or this software is unsafe or something. Like, it's just so, easy to sort of throw something stupid out there, but it's, or like Bitcoin is, can be stolen or something like that. Like, it's so sophomoric. You wouldn't respect somebody who came out here and said something like that. So I don't necessarily respect somebody that comes out here and says, oh, I think you made a mistake when you raised the price of this medicine. Well, what do you know about medicine? And that's kind of the attitude that sort of got me a bit in hot water, because I sort of was unapologetic about it and a little bit defensive. Again, I love this industry. I think it does a great thing. When I say this industry, I'm meaning pharma, but I also know a lot about pharma, and it's not easy for me to sort of suffer the sort of like, I've heard people say that insulin costs nothing to make, and that it doesn't make sense that insulin costs what it costs. And I'm sitting here saying, like, I understand you're frustrated by the price of insulin, but it doesn't cost nothing to make. It's very hard to make insulin, as a matter of fact. It costs several $billion plant to make insulin. So it's not free to make insulin. It's not easy at all. Making drugs is very difficult. It's very regulated. It costs a ton of money. You don't just sort of mix some stuff up in a beaker and serve it out to patients. It's a very, very, very difficult problem that requires clean rooms and all kinds of qualifications that are really, really rather difficult. And that's why drugs are expensive. And you can't shortcut that kind of stuff. So the point is, like, this is a very nuanced field, and I'm prepared to have nuanced discussions, and I'll have any kind of discussion with you, obviously. But I found it difficult over the years to have sort of discussions with people that have zero understanding of the industry.
I have zero understanding of the industry. This is the perfect conversation to have. What I do have I don't have an understanding of why it got raised. I know you're trying to justify it because other pills are expensive. We're okay to raise it. I'm not saying you shouldn't raise it. I'm just asking why you raised it.
Sure. So this is a drug that the manufacturer was considering abandoning, because there are other drugs that you can use to treat this disease, which is something else that a lot of people got wrong. They thought this was the only drug that could potentially treat this illness. That's completely wrong. There's a drug that costs $1 called Bactrim that is easily as good as Daraprim. But the media was so obsessed with saying this was the only medicine, it was a life-saving medicine and stuff like that, that they actually were doing me a favor by saying that, because people really believe that. Most of our doctors switched to the cheap drug, the $1 drug. About half of them just said, I'll just give that other drug. But half of them sticked with our drug because it's covered by insurance and stuff like that. So anybody that couldn't afford it, so to speak, even though these drugs are covered by insurance, anybody that couldn't afford it could have just used the $1 drug, but the media did such a good job of advertising my own medicine for me that it was the one life-saving drug and this guy's holding it back, that, I think it was really sort of the media really wanting to create a villain and create a story. And we know that they do this. We're doing it with Elon Musk as we speak, right? It's this guy, as we all know, he's buying this company and he's trying to make it work. And all you hear is, that he's hurting free speech, or that he's, a Republican sympathizer, or God knows what. And, I think it's just sort of like, can you paint a picture that'll sell a click or an ad? I think that we see that happening all the time with all kinds of people, left wing, right wing, whatever it takes.
Okay. What is the active ingredient in Daraprim?
Pure methamine.
Okay. And so it looks like it's 25 milligrams, and you're saying I could just buy that instead of buying Daraprim. So there's
pure methamine is Daraprim.
Okay. Yeah, the active ingredient though. And I'm looking at I'm trying to understand your pills more, because you're saying I could buy the active ingredient for $1. Is that what you're saying? No.
What I'm saying is there's another drug called Bactrim, which is called trimethoprim, which
so it's not a 1-to-1. You were saying you said it was identical.
No, it's not identical. It works as well. It's a different drug.
Well, I'm not that. I don't. How? Okay. I'm not a doctor. Look, I'm gonna fucking up here. Okay. Let me go to some hands. They probably have more legit. I want to read more. I'm trying to read as fast as humanly possible, because, I don't know. Like, to me, it sounds to me you raised the tablets overnight from $13.50 to $750 because of this active ingredient. The paramethamine. I don't know how to say it. Shit went extinct overnight. So let me go over to Fax real quick. Fax, do you know who Martin is?
Yeah, I heard of Martin. How you doing, Martin?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. So the media was trying to paint these antics with the drugs as prohibitive to patient access. But you're saying if it wasn't for your work, that patients wouldn't be able to access these drugs.
Yeah,
So I
someone
guess
needs
it
to
kind of
make the
comes down
medicine, right?
to, yeah, so like these margins that when you run up a drug from $13 to $7,500 a pill, that money essentially, are you saying that went to the drug manufacturers in order to incentivize them to continue to make these? Or why was it that it was so difficult to communicate that fact to the media if that was the case, that in fact you're actually helping patient access?
I tried. I gave a 2-hour interview to ABC once, and they literally used 30 seconds of it where I was sort of stuttering or stammering instead of the 2 hours. It wasn't a live interview, and I learned the media's tricks at that point. And I've learned that it's really hard to sort of talk to the media because they don't care about the truth. They care their business too. They care about revenues and earnings. Their margins are actually higher than drug company margins. I once went on CBS because they were ridiculing the EpiPen price increases. And I said, the maker of EpiPen makes less money than CBS. So you think your business is more important? You deserve higher margins because you what? Peddle advertising, news, reality TV? That stuff's more important than medicine? I think the EpiPen maker deserves to make a 20% margin, but they don't. They make a 10% margin. So what's wrong with drug companies making margin? Why is that bad? Why do we hate this industry so much that we won't even let it exist? But we have no problem with Facebook having a 50% margin. And we're willingly giving them our content and letting them take it and use it like it's theirs. Every video you post, every tweet that you do, right? We're letting Twitter advertise on us. And they're not giving us a dollar. But pharma that saves lives, that makes medicines that help us live long, this is an industry like we're ashamed of and we don't like it when they make money. To me, it's just this like broad hatred for pharma that has existed well before me and will exist after me. And it's just something that we just don't respect this industry for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, to me, like this is Alex's and only Alex's opinion. You're just rinsing insurance companies. I don't think was this not accepted? Did insurance not did they not cover this medication?
We didn't have one insurance company that didn't cover it because it's a life-saving medicine. They always cover it. The only thing that happened is, in fact, the insurance companies liked it. So what's funny about insurance is I had raised price of drugs like this 7 times, and in fact, in many times I was told that I was doing a good thing for patients because these were sort of out of the way weird diseases. Like this disease pyrimethamine treats is toxoplasmosis, which is not a common disease at all. It's very, very rare. Only a few thousand people get it. We gave away 65% of our medicine for $1. So we had only a couple hundred paying customers, and those were paid for, of course, by insurance. Nobody pays out of pocket for medicine. And so ultimately, like this whole thing was a ruse. Nobody went without our drug. And again, there are alternatives. You could have used this other drug I mentioned, Bactrim, which is a widely known, widely used antibiotic that works just as well. There's proof out there that shows it is as good as pyrimethamine. There's no need to give pyrimethamine at all. There are secret emails that were leaked that said, I really worry that after we raise this price, that people are just going to use the other one, that we're going to lose 95% of our market share overnight because people will just say, all right, cool, this guy wants to go ham, we'll just use Bactrim. What's funny is that's not what happened. Half of our patients went to Bactrim, half of our doctors left, and the other half said, you know what, I'm going to stick to pyrimethamine. It's still covered by insurance, so I'm going to use that. So again, a lot of this was, in my opinion, just dressing up a bad guy. And once there's a bad guy, usually you're going to get an indictment and an arrest. Look at Harvey Weinstein. Did Harvey Weinstein commit a crime? Well, that's not what's important. What's important is that people didn't like Harvey Weinstein and that the government was able to figure out, okay, what crime on the books can we use to point at Harvey Weinstein and make us criminal? Some of these events that Harvey did were years after the fact. It was not really clear to me that there was a judicial argument for this. Nevertheless, he was so hated that, look, you got to arrest this guy, and he's got 26 years in prison. I don't like Harvey Weinstein at all, but the point I'm making is that the guy was very rapidly sort of enemy number one, and then, oh, what do you know? Now he's arrested, and he's in jail for 26 years, and he's only halfway done with the criminal justice system. He's going to do another trial in LA, and maybe he'll get even more time. So it's very easy for the enemy of the public, whoever that is. Right now, I think it's going to be Sam Bankman. That you're going to see enemies of the public will often, because there's aspiring politicians and aspiring sort of prosecutors, that their goal is to say, if I'm the guy or the gal that puts this person in handcuffs. I'm going to have a press conference and I'm going to be in the news and I'm going to be important. And this is something that's going to be good for my political career. And that's typically the case.
Yeah. Well, we gotta address just you, Martin, as an
Yeah.
individual. This shifting of blame. Well, look at this guy. He fucked up over here. So, no, you can't use examples to explain Martin, right? You've got to only. We can only
Yeah,
talk.
I'm just saying
I
it's
can only
easy to
talk
get
about
arrested.
I can only talk about. Look, I heard you're involved in, and you also said Sam's gonna be no. The guy that's actually gonna catch the most flag is CZ. I'm looking at CZ. I'm saying, he's putting out this. I may buy fucking FTX, and then all of a sudden pulls out the next day. Come on, man. The writing's on the wall. I look to address CZ. And I'm like, hey, what's going on here? What do you? No, you know what? I'm not gonna ask you. I think you could be working for all I know. I
Yes.
don't know. Are you working for Binance?
Chinese spy right here.
No,
No,
I
I'm
didn't
not.
say that. Wait, you connected that dot. I did not say that. Are you working for Binance? What I asked.
No, I don't work for Binance. I don't give a shit about Binance. I hope they burn in hell. What do I know about Binance? I just think that I think what they did is perfectly legal. By the way, I mean he's no obligation to buy FTX or not buy FTX. They were running into trouble because they were out of money. You can see on chain exactly when they stopped processing withdrawals. They needed the money. They know they were running out of it. They begged this guy for help. He was amazingly was willing to give it to them. And I think realized there's nothing in the books, that they're missing way more money than they said they were. They don't need 1 or 2 billion. They need like 10 billion. And Binance doesn't have that kind of money, to be frank.
Okay. I mean, you think he didn't know all this going into this information? To protect our users, we signed a non-binding LOI. He's talking about intending to fully acquire FTX, and then
I think
24 hours later, he's
Sam
backing out.
Sam is a huge liar. I think that's clear. He lied to everybody. He took people's money. He gambled it recklessly. It's gone. He needed a lifeline, so he went to his original investor. That investor wanted to help him, probably felt bad for him, said, I'll do what I can. Sam lied to him. They were able to put the Band-Aid on for a minute. The investor looked under the hood and said, whoa, this is way worse than you told me. I'm out. And because I think he would have loved to buy Binance. I mean, what FTX? I mean, what a great coup de grace, right? Wow, I crushed this company and now I'm buying them out. It's too bad even for him. I think we're going to see the FTX bankruptcy filing. We're going to see that Sam's in a lot of trouble, and that whatever happened here is much uglier, I think, than we think. Now, I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, then you're right, and I stand corrected. But we'll see what the next few days brings, I think.
Okay. Someone's saying, ask him if he really talked to a friend that said Solana offices are empty.
Yeah, I have a photo of it. It's remarkable. Now, that's just the New York office, at Empire DAO. I think Solana's price speaks for itself.
You have motives. You have some interesting motives. Can you tweet out the picture so I can see what you're talking about?
Yeah, let me ask the person who sent it to me and make sure that I'm not violating their confidence. But I have a picture of it, and I know that they have the same office. And listen, I can't cause a run on Solana. Solana has 1 billion tokens, right? that are coming I don't know how to put it. They're coming available.
They're getting unstaked. Yes, they'll be getting market dumped. We are going to zero with haste. Yeah, it's going to zero. So or if this is complete fear mongering at the moment, this is complete manipulation of human emotion, and then we'll have some hero come in like, oh wow, this is our savior. So maybe that happens as well. I'm not quite sure. Here you are.
I have a photo. I'm not sure of anything. I really am not. The stock market, the crypto market is all a crapshoot. My guess is as good as yours. I think Bitcoin's going to 11,000, but it could go to 25,000, and I could be wrong. I have a 50-50 chance, I think, of being right, and anybody else's guess is about the same. So I guess future prices for a living, but it doesn't mean I'm good at it, and it doesn't mean that I'm always right or ever right. So it is what it is. You know how the markets are. We don't know the future price of any asset with any certainty.
Oh, I do. That's the difference. I know the price of every asset in the near future. We got everyone's hand up, Tawny. Tawny, I mean, this is, Martin, right? How did you ever meet Martin?
She's my baby's mom.
I am not his baby's mama, and I'm sorry, Martin. I didn't know they were gonna. No,
Not yet.
no, not about that. I'm sorry about like the whole like grilling you thing
Oh,
that you
it's
have to
okay.
deal
You
with
know, I'm
all the
used to
time.
it. You know, I'm used to it.
Yeah, his community is the back then, the kinds of people that were attracted to Martin were probably still to this day some of the most intelligent people that I've ever met in my life. There was a community that gathered around him when all this stuff was going on. And we basically watched the media just straight up lie about him. Someone said, like, why didn't you speak out? He did, like, all the time. He was explaining this stuff the whole time. But it was crazy because he was he was online all the time, talking about all of these things and giving clarity for all of these things. But you could listen to him and understand kind of what was going on behind the scenes. And even like Martin would he would say things like openly, like, if you can't afford this drug and you need this drug, just call me, just come talk to me, I will give it to you. Like, but then you turn on the TV and you see the exact opposite. um I didn't expect you to kind of go in on him like that, because it's kind
No,
of
it's okay. The
is kind of just boring at this point, right? It's like
Well, maybe for you, but
the
I think there
sheep.
are, you know the story, but I think other people
Yeah.
maybe don't, and they are interested. Otherwise, there wouldn't be anybody here, or people would be telling him this is boring, this sucks, change the subject. I thought I was here to talk about FTX, but no, I think that like one of the other things that Zentani mentioned that I totally. It's funny. I gave out my cell phone number and I said if anybody can't afford this drug, call me. I didn't get one call. I said here's an email, dedicated email. You have trouble affording this drug? Get this email. We had 2,000 customers. That's it. You can almost write down and know the names of all your customers. Like we had 80 people at our company working day and night. If you couldn't afford this medicine, get it to us. We'll FedEx it to you. I'll bring it to you personally. Like there was no one that couldn't get our drug. I think that that was just a myth that was sort of assumed because I think people don't understand that there are a lot of expensive medicines. A lot of cancer drugs are $100,000 or more. So the system has evolved, and like you said, it would be a fallacy if I was saying, oh well, that's bad, so I'm not as bad. No, that's not what I'm saying. I think it's a good thing that there are expensive medicines. I think it's a good thing that we can prize innovation and save lives by incentivizing innovation. But the point is the system has evolved to be able to pay for very expensive drugs through the method of spreading those costs out amongst a large group of people. The U.S. Drug industry is $300 or $400 billion. So we're able to sort of have lots of different great medicines that are insured because we all sort of kick in and pay for it. And one drug like Daraprim, which sold $50 million, it's a drop in the bucket. It could not affect the insurance system. There are gigantic drugs that don't affect the insurance system. No one drug changes the insurance system. So I think in general, like there was just a lot of misplaced anger and blame. And I kind of had fun with it at first. I didn't believe that people would give a shit about this. And when Hillary Clinton started tweeting at me, my first response was LOL, which I think was she didn't like that. And my response was, after a while, started to get pretty angry and surprised, but also like a little bit sort of defiant, right? That like it's my product in this country. We're allowed to price our product wherever you want. If Twitter said an advertisement on this place is $1 million, that's up to Elon Musk, man. If he wants to do that, that's up to him. He doesn't have to price products rationally. You can make a hamburger $600. Nobody's going to buy the hamburger, obviously, but it's up to you to decide what the price is of any product. And every single person here has a job where they have to decide, or some boss has to decide, what the price of that principal product is. Think about what job you have. There's a product your company sells, and the price of it is some product that somebody decided. It was not decided by the US government. It's decided by the entrepreneur that places the price of the product and thinks about, okay, what is best for everybody here? And I did that calculation, and my number was 750. And I stick to it, and I'm sticking to it now, and I'll stick to it forever. But the point is that, it is your choice at your company what you do, and nobody can take that choice away from you. They can criticize it, they cannot buy it, but they can't take that choice away from you. And that was the greater point I made to politicians, that, oh, if you don't like it, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to do price controls? Are you going to try to stop me from being a capitalist? That's not going to work. I can price this drug for $1,000 a pill or $20,000 a pill. I picked 750 because I knew that would maximize my result. I would have insurance coverage, but I also would have patience. If you price it too much, you're not going to have any patience. So we had the perfect sort of price where everybody wins. The company wins, the patients still get their drug, and the insurance pays. And with that increased earnings, I can get a backup supply chain. I can make more patients aware of the drug. I can help educate physicians. I can do more clinical trials. A lot of other benefits that come. One thing to say finally is I never took a salary from the company I worked at. All that Daraprim money, none of it went to me. I didn't get $1 of salary. So ultimately, this was all for naught. And I think that sort of shows where I was here. If I wanted the money, I wouldn't. I would have taken a salary. I would have taken a dividend. I would have gotten some financial remuneration for it, but I did not. I never had a salary at my company.
I mean, from what it seemed like to me, and kind of, Sarah, Billy, like everyone in our community or our group, it seemed like what happened really was you had an outsider, a guy from New York, kind of make his way through and play a game that was already established. And then you were unapologetic about it, kind of like Sphinx always says, you need to kiss the ring, and how Sphinx is a lot like Martin. Like Martin didn't kiss the ring. He was like actually very trolly and very it was really I mean it was funny to watch too, because a lot of people are not happy with politicians and how people run this country, and you sort of like it seemed like they were trying to scare you down, and you just didn't budge. You just kept standing, and that made everyone really hate you.
Well, I know some people want to talk, but I just want to give one last example that in WikiLeaks, the email leak with Hillary Clinton's staff is they said that they were surprised that I didn't back down after they ran their advertising campaign, and that I doubled down on my position. So that was straight from WikiLeaks. I never was meant to see that email, but it's in the WikiLeaks if you want to look it up.
I won't be going to WikiLeaks. Not a fucking shot. Martin, I want to ask you about Martin. I can't Shkreli in you. You ever heard of that?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Well, what happened with that? Let's just go there. You know what? No, you don't have to answer that. Look, this is a recorded space, Martin. I don't want to get you in trouble. I don't want to get you in trouble.
You just said you wanted to ask me about it, so it's up to you, man.
Okay. Are you sure? Look, I've got receipts already. I've got receipts. I'm the Walmart return department. I've got receipts on top of receipts. People are DMing me. So yeah, let's see if the stories match up here, Martin. So talk to us about Martin Shkreli in you.
Sure. It's an ERC20 token. It's used in a piece of software that I helped create called Drug-like, which is a computational chemistry software company and sort of general software company that I started or helped start. And yeah, it's an ERC20 token. What do you want to know about it?
This guy's good. This guy's slippery. You got to be careful with the Martins of the world.
Really? Why don't we have to be careful about the Alexes of the world?
Oh, you definitely got to be careful with the Alexes. I don't use examples for things. I very direct. You've got to be careful.
Slippery, Dick.
Okay. Well, you don't go into detail.
What detail? Normally, I'm telling you, what do you want to know about it? I said what it is. You asked what it is. I said it's an ERC20 token. What do you want to know?
Did you ever sell any of this token?
So I was hacked, as I think what you're alleging.
Yeah, see that? Yeah, there's the elephant.
Well, it's not the elephant because
it's a joke.
There's a lot.
It's all a joke. It's a meme, Alex. It's a meme.
There's a lot to the token. If you're asking me about the hack, then yes, I was hacked, and the token that I had was sold by a malicious entity, and we have been able to buy all those tokens back, and I'm happy to sort of answer any question about it. In fact, I did Twitter Spaces when it happened. So when you say I'm slippery, I really want to know what you mean.
Well, it took a while for you to address the elephant in the room.
What elephant in the room? Which one?
The hack of 160
billion. I addressed it immediately when it happened. I was on Twitter Spaces an hour after it happened. You're asking me about it months after it happened.
Well,
which I was also there for. It's just fucking ridiculous.
Okay. Well, okay. Look, the media could be wrong. People.
It sounds like you think more like them than any independent thinker.
Well, hang on. I've got to ask questions. If you don't like that I ask questions, you know what this red question mark stands for?
No, it's natural to ask questions, but you seem to have a conclusion pre sort of figured.
No, you're very well spoken, and for that very reason, I have to be very careful.
I'm really not. I'm a kid from Brooklyn that grew up in the hood. I'm not well spoken. I went to City College. I'm just the fucking degen like you.
I mean, that's exactly what a well-spoken person would say. Exactly what I'm not well-spoken. No,
I'm from a
no.
poor Albanian immigrant family. I did not do that well at school. I'm nowhere near well spoken.
Well, look, we got Machi up here. I don't even think that motherfucker graduated college. He didn't even graduate. Machi, do you know who Martin is?
Yeah, I do. He's famous, man. Yeah. I'm listening to him talk. I like him. But
Oh fuck!
for sure.
Oh,
Yo,
no.
yeah. I don't know what you invited me up here for, man. Like,
Well, I want, dude. You're supposed to be this old head, and you know the DeFi and all this shit.
hey,
And I'm like,
I said I like the guy. I listened to him talk just for like what 30 minutes now. I like the guy. He sounds cool. But for sure, this motherfucker's slippery. And he dude, the guy's got the gift of gab. You know, like yeah. I mean, I'm whatever. I'm not really vulnerable, so I don't worry about talking to people like that. But yeah, I could see him like being a cult leader, no fucking problem. He's rough. This guy can talk. Yeah, yeah, he's awesome. Yeah, what's up, Martin?
What's up?
I mean,
Yeah.
the timing of him coming back to media is very. You don't see any coincidences here, Martin. Look, I've got my tinfoil hat.
I got a
I've
4.5
got my
year.
Doritos. I've got my Mountain Dew. I've got my keyboard. I'm gonna pontificate, Martin. I will be
Coincidence. I got a
pontificating.
4.5 year jail sentence. The day I got out, I was able to come home. I didn't stay there.
Okay.
It's no coincidence. I got out the day they let me out.
When did you get out?
I was out May 18th, and funny enough, it's a good story. I noticed that a bunch of people are making ERC20 tokens with my name on them. So I said, please stop doing this. I may want to be in the crypto industry. Don't make an ERC20 token. I'm not endorsing this. And then I realized that I couldn't stop these people. And that when I showed up in the Telegram room, they were like, holy shit, it's Shkreli. This is great. And then they aped the token even harder. And I was like, no, don't do this. Stop aping. And they're like, ape, let's do this, bro. Let's fucking go. And I was like, all right, I love you guys, but this is nuts. And I decided to actually make software.
That's the
yeah, no, it is. And I had no idea. I was just reading about this stuff from prison. I had no clue about this Telegram culture. And then, I said, you know what I could do to help this situation is actually make useful software. So if you look at the software I made, which people don't take the time to do, but we've worked really, really hard to make this extremely sophisticated software called Druglike. You can go to druglike.com right now and try it. It's very complicated what it does. It takes two molecular entities and it calculates the free energy of that molecular ensemble. And it's never been done before that this software has been available online. In fact, our software is free. The rival software is $50,000. It's being gatekept by pharmaceutical companies and people like that. So if you want to discover a new drug or a new medicine or a new molecule, it's very hard to do. So we decided we wanted to make that process much cheaper, if not free. So our software is free to use. It costs a lot of computational energy to do. So we limit it to 10,000 molecules. But if you want to screen a million...
That sounds good, Martin, but the people you're talking to won't even read a thread, man. So,
yeah, we're not reading
I don't
this
know.
Is okay, Machi.
Well,
look at this.
We get into that.
Hang on, Machi.
Well, you asked about my software.
Okay,
you don't want me to answer it?
Well,
you asked about
this
not
is
me.
let me.
Alex did,
you asked about MSI. You asked about Martin Shkreli. I'm telling you what it does. And now you're saying, oh, I'm bored.
He got hacked for 162 billion. I mean, if there's no evidence, there's no evidence. What is evidence?
So you asked me what it.
Hang on. There's evidence of you not being on Twitter. June was actually your last appearance, and then yesterday.
Whoa, what?
June.
I'm sorry. You're telling me that you know the day I got out of jail better than I do?
No. I'm saying the tweet you put out was in June. You don't see you went June. Hang on, let me pull out my fingers. July, August, September, October, and now we're in November. Almost half a year away from Twitter, and then you say, "Well, hello there," and then you double down.
I don't know if you followed the saga, but I've been banned from Twitter.
Yeah. This is so.
Okay. You're
so
kind of an
silly,
idiot, dude.
man.
Why am I here?
I don't know.
I'm sorry,
Martin.
Sort of an idiot.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, like who are you?
Yo, here's a real question. How much did you actually pay?
Fuck that. No. You're coming back, and you're fudding FTX, but you're shilling Binance. You're gonna say, "Oh, I just got unbanned from Twitter." Just coincidentally,
He was
too dumb for me to talk to.
He was.
Okay.
You don't deserve.
Then how did you wait?
10 minutes with me.
How did you get unbanned from Twitter?
I literally am on a secret account that I'm gonna get banned from in any day now. I've been banned 20 times.
Okay, how did you get unbanned on this
I
account?
didn't get unbanned. This is somebody else's account. It's going to get banned any day now. I guarantee it.
Okay, I didn't know
I'm
you were
not supposed to
operating
be
on.
on
I didn't know
Twitter.
how am I supposed to know you're operating on an alternate account?
Well, you can ask the question instead of conjuring some crazy conspiracy theory. I said, I reiterate, you were too dumb to talk to me.
I'm too dumb to talk to you. Yeah,
Yes.
I think what it is, I think I've already got it figured out. I think you're going to try to ridicule.
Think you do.
No, yeah, no. I think you're.
You think I'm a Binance spy?
No. Yeah, you think it's funny. You think it's funny. I mean, look, it lines up. It lines up with what I'm saying.
Listen, you probably believe in QAnon. You probably believe vaccines are bad for you and cause autism. You probably
no, I didn't. Anyways, you can try to ridicule. You can try to poke fun.
I think you ridicule yourself.
I had no idea you're using an alternate account. It's weird that they would.
I mean, a smart person sits back and asks the question instead of conjuring the conspiracy theory that I'm here to spread FUD about FTX. I don't give a fuck about FTX or Binance or anything else.
Then why are you retweeting Binance?
I think it's what's happening right now. Don't you? This is the most momentous moment in fucking crypto history, and people are discussing it. I'm discussing Bankman. I'm discussing all this stuff. I'm getting thousands of viewers on it. I was on Up Only the other day. People are interested in my take on this.
Yeah.
He literally, Alex, like, can I just?
Yeah, I
like,
can't.
Listen,
I can't handle this guy. I mean,
I'm sorry.
Who is Alex?
I don't give a fuck who you can handle. I don't give a fuck who you can handle. Nah, I don't give a fuck who this guy.
Okay,
the problem is he can't answer
you're a
simplest
moron.
fuck questions.
You're a
He hides from the
moron.
fucking real truth. I'm like, what about
Alright,
this token, Martin? Oh, I don't know. What about it? I have no. Yeah, you got hacked for 162 billion fucking tokens.
Okay,
How about you
listen.
just address the fucking elephant in the room?
People get hacked, dude. I'm glad I got hacked for. I'd rather get hacked for $400,000 that I could replace, which I did, than get hacked for I don't know $400 million.
Questions like, hey, you haven't tweeted in 6 months, and you ridicule it like, oh well, I'm using an alternate fucking account. You didn't fucking know. Like, who the fuck knows?
There is way too much.
Well, I'm not a lot of fucking people.
Well, that's the point. Is that
that's the real fucking point.
Instead of living in ignorance,
instead of ridiculing, instead of ridiculing, why don't you fucking educate, Martin?
I'm trying, but you're the one who said, isn't it convenient?
This is an alternate account. Like, I'm supposed to fucking know that. Who the fuck's supposed to know that? Nobody fucking knows that.
Hello, boys. There's way too much testosterone in here. Let's
the whole CT
bring it down a little bit.
No.
Wait till Mark and
wait till I can't wait till the NFT meetup. NFT NYC. We'll shake hands.
Can I ask an actual palate cleansing question for Martin?
No, you can't.
NFTs are all worthless, by the way. So
yeah, no, that's why I'm excited to meet up.
What?
That's
not true. That's not true.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Every
NFT is art, motherfucker. It's not worthless. All right.
Every JPEG NFT will go to zero. Every single one. That's my prediction.
Okay. Well,
so how much did you actually buy the Wu-Tang album for?
Whoa!
Yeah, he's gone. All right, let's pass it off to Sphinx. Do you know who Martin is? Because this isn't his real account. This is an alternate account. If you didn't know, you should have known. If you didn't know, you don't know what the fuck you're doing.
My real account has been banned for 7 years.
Yeah, I'm sorry you're irrelevant, dude. Like, what do you want me to do? I didn't even know who the fuck you were. Like, what do you want me to do? I'm sorry, dude.
My account has been banned for 7 years.
I once was tweeted at by Hillary Clinton. You don't know who that is? Yeah, I performed security for her. Do you know who I am? No, you don't. So let's go over to Sphinx.
All right. Hello there. I have arrived. Oh no, I've been here the whole time. Sorry. So yeah, I wanted to say just a couple of things. I'm not gonna focus on the I don't think it's really an accurate analogy with Facebook making so many millions of dollars when, drug companies can't make money because, when Facebook makes money, people don't die. But when a drug company, I'm just saying, Martin,
if drug companies,
whoa, 1 second, Martin.
If drug companies don't make money, then people do die.
Martin, just go on mute for a minute, and I'm not coming at you, bro. Just hold on. Go on mute for a minute. There, thank you. It's all love in here. All love. Okay, so I'm just giving the other perspective here, so it comes out fair. It's just fair. So anyway, that was the argument that when the price gets jacked up from $13.50 per pill to $7.50 per pill overnight, when that drug takes pennies on the dollar to make,
it doesn't. You're wrong.
Hold on, Martin. Hold on, Martin. That's where. However, that's not what I want to focus on because I don't know a lot about this.
But you want to get your, you want to make sure you get your
Martin, hold
ignorance in.
on, Martin. I'm not on an alt account. Let me finish. I'm gonna let you finish. Okay, I'm not hating on you. Just relax.
I just allowed to respond to you.
No, you will, but I need to finish.
But you want to make a different point.
Martin.
Yes, lady. Listen.
Martin. Just hold on. I'm almost
when
done.
you make point one about pharma and then you're going to go on to something else, let me finish about
you're going to remember it. You're a smart guy. Remember, don't worry about
then
it.
Please go on your soliloquy. I'll be quiet.
Thank you. Okay. The other thing I wanted to say, though, which is much more interesting, but and by the way, that was not an accusation, Martin, because I'm the first to say that I'm not an expert in the drug industry. Okay, so I wanted to say that. I wanted to voice the other opinion, but say that I'm also not accusing you of anything. And I do fundamentally believe that the pharmaceutical industry should be able to make money. But I was pointing out that argument that was made specifically about your situation. However, I got a text at the beginning when you first came on by a friend of mine who's a manager in the music industry who said that apparently Method Man, was sitting at his desk one day and he got a call from TMZ. And TMZ wanted a comment from him about what he thought about this album of theirs that you had acquired, I believe, on auction. I don't know the details, but let me look. It says, as far as I know, MM did not reply. So you want to tell us about what happened with the whole Wu-Tang Clan and the U.S. government taking over that precious album of yours that you got in auction? And because I think that's a very interesting story. I'm just curious. So thank you. Okay. I'm going on mute.
Okay, so just with respect to pharmaceutical companies, you're right that if Facebook overprices their ads, nobody's going to die. But if pharmaceutical companies don't make money, then everybody's going to die. So they do need to make money. And that's my point, is that it's very important for pharma to make money, because otherwise they won't make drugs. And without drugs, we won't have medicine. And medicine has established the ability for us to have a lifespan of 80 or 90 years. Meanwhile, before medicine existed, it was a 30 or 40-year lifespan. So to me, it's the most important industry. It does the most important things of any industry, period. The Wu-Tang album is being played for you right now.
Not what I asked for. Not what I asked for.
Martin, don't play, man.
No. You're not the DJ.
Yeah. Martin, you must be. Hang on, Martin. You must be hanging out with the wrong MFers. You must be lost. I think you're lost.
She asked me.
Wait, you're really
about the album.
lost. I don't know who unmuted you. Look, I don't give. You got a blue check mark. I don't know if you are Martin. But you can't interrupt people on this stage. Everyone's an equal. Whether you're famous, unfamous. It sounds to me you suffer from entitlements. 3 to be direct. You've got the OG status. 10 years ago I was famous. You've got the rich. The fortune entitlement. Oh, I got all these millions from this Martin NU, but it got hacked. And you got the fame one. Oh, I once had a tweet from Hillary Clinton. So we need to strip those entitlements. We need to just treat everyone as an equal, and we can have civil conversation. We'll just go one by one.
Alex,
well, she asked me about the album, so I just wanted to show that I still have the album.
Yeah.
Martin, but you're so stupid. I can't do this anymore. I'm just gonna start my own space. So
okay.
You guys want to join that? Come on.
Alex, can I
that
say
motherfucker
something real quick?
Are you gonna take Martin's side right now, Tani? Like, is
Alex,
hold on.
Alex,